Friends, in the previous video we saw how, due to an unknown disease, all the men on Earth died and only women survived. They came together and created a new world of their own. This world was ruled by a company called Gilikachi because they possessed a precious thing, which was men's white fluid, and this company used to sell it at extremely high prices. For those who couldn't afford this white fluid, the company organized a lottery. Whichever woman's name was drawn in the lottery would get a chance to become pregnant for free. Meanwhile, we see Pinky Peters and her friend Martha indulging in self-pleasure and cheap thrills. Pinky Peters' husband and son had also died from this disease. Because of this, she was left completely alone and desperately wanted to become pregnant at any cost. And then suddenly, her name comes up in the lottery. Later, Pinky Peters goes to their hospital and gets that white fluid injected into her. But 2 weeks later, she finds out that she cannot get pregnant. Learning this makes her very sad. Then one day when Pinky Peters and Martha were on their way to look for their friend Sasti Masti, just then someone crashes into their car, and when they look, they realize it's a man. The man introduces himself as Bhagodi Lal and says that there are still some men like him alive and they are all in a safe place. After that, Pinky Peters asks Bhagodi Lal for his white fluid so that she can become pregnant again. At first, Bhagodi Lal refuses her request, but later he agrees. On the other hand, the leader of the Gilikachi group, Papi Pradhan, somehow finds out that there is still a man alive. So she captures him in order to obtain his white fluid. Meanwhile, Pinky Peters finds out that she has become pregnant from Bhagodi Lal's fluid. After that, she and her friends somehow manage to rescue Bhagodi Lal from Papi Pradhan and reach that safe place, the one that Bhagodi Lal had been talking about. But when they get there, they see that it's not a safe place at all, but actually a lab belonging to Papi Pradhan. There, she had tied up other men as well so that she could extract their white fluid. And just then, Papi Pradhan arrives there with a man. That man was none other than Pinky Peters' husband, Tata Raj, and together with him, Papi Pradhan was running this Gilikachi group. Then, on Papi Pradhan's orders, Bhagodi Lal is captured again, and her guards surround the other 3 girls. Meanwhile, Tata Raj grabs Papi Pradhan and starts sucking her. But just then, Papi Pradhan notices that Sasti Masti is trying to free herself. So she takes Tata Raj inside with her and orders the guards to catch the others. Meanwhile, one of the guards tries to attach a pumping device to Bhagodi Lal's privates to extract his fluid. But Bhagodi Lal forcefully kicks the man away and frees himself. He urgently tells the girls to get out quickly. And he goes with them behind a closed door. But once inside, they see that it's actually a cold storage room. At that moment, Sasti Masti says that this isn't just any ordinary cold storage, but a sperm bank, where the sperm of these men are stored and kept. Seeing this, they get an idea, and then all 4 of them come out carrying some bottles of white liquid. This time, the guards don't attack them because they don't want to lose their most precious possession. At that moment, a man whose sperm was being extracted begs Bhagodi Lal for help. Bhagodi Lal throws a piece of glass towards him and keeps moving forward with the girls. But then they see that the path ahead is going upwards, which means they are now trapped here. But just then, the man whom Bhagodi Lal had helped pushes everyone aside and runs away from there. This confuses the guards for a while, and at that moment, Bhagodi Lal and the girls take advantage of the opportunity and escape from there. Ahead, they meet that man who tells them his name is Anil Ankosh. He says, "Follow me. I know the way out of here." Meanwhile, Bhagodi Lal sees 2 men in a room and tries to rescue them. But just then, Anil Ankosh says that these are good boys and they won't listen to you. Bhagodi Lal says, "I won't leave any man behind," and tries to open the door. But just then, the good boys open the door themselves and come out saying, "Why have you come here to get yourself killed? We have no desire to leave this place because the outside world is full of dangerous diseases and certain death, and we much rather prefer to eat jelly and masturbate here all day long." But when Bhagodi Lal still stubbornly insists, they push him out and inform the guards that there is an intruder in their room. Bhagodi Lal gets up and along with the others runs and hides in a garage. Anil Ankosh says that this is the only way out. Now somehow they manage to open the garage. But just then, the guards also arrive there and catch Martha Mutti. Meanwhile, the rest of them manage to escape from there. Later, Anil Ankosh tells them that the place from which they rescued him is not actually the real safe place. In fact, the real safe place is somewhere else. He also tells them that he and the other good boy came from there. But that boy turned into a Bewley Geend because he ate too much jelly. Just then, Sasti Masti says to Bhagodi Lal, "Look ahead, there's a checkpoint. Now we'll have to go back again." But Bhagodi Lal refuses to go back and tells Pinky Peters to drive the car. Just then, a guard stops Pinky Pitas and asks her what they are doing there. Hearing this, she gets nervous, which makes the guard suspicious. Meanwhile, Bhagodi Lal and Ankush, who were hiding in the truck, discover that Tataraj has also sneaked inside. Bhagodi Lal asks him, "Bistri, what are you doing here?" He responds by saying that he was also trying to escape, and then the two of them begin fighting. Meanwhile, the guard tells Pinky Pitas that if she presses this button, the other guards will come here too. But just then, Sasti Masti gets out of the car and attacks the guard. During the fight, the guard gets injured on the face and loses consciousness. Meanwhile, Tataraj gets out of the car and starts running away, and Bhagodi Lal and Anil and Kosh chase after him. Bhagodi Lal catches him, throws him to the ground and starts punching him repeatedly in the face. Later, when he is tied up and interrogated, he reveals that Papi Pradhan used him by tempting him with his pinky. "But now I'm on your side." Bhagodi Lal says that this man is a liar and should be hanged. He says in a cheeky manner that maybe Tataraj is in a safe place. He wants to find out the location and get the rest of the people caught as well. At the same time, Anil Ankush says that he feels the same way. "We can't take a traitor along with us." After that, Bhagodi Lal hangs Tataraj with a rope and ties him to the car. Seeing this, Sasti Masti tells Pinky Pitash, "Please tell him not to do this." But Pinky Pitash doesn't listen to her at all because she is still in shock from Tataraj's betrayal. Just as Tataraj is about to die, Pinky Pitash cuts his rope and says that if anyone is going to kill him, it will be her. Meanwhile, Tataraj notices the remote that the guard was talking about, picks it up and starts pressing its button. But then Pinky Pitash reveals the truth, explaining that she deliberately dropped the remote control and had already removed its battery, so she could see whether he was Ganfati's traitor or not. After that, she stabs him deep in the leg so he can't run away and instructs the entire group that they should take Tataraj with them to the safe place. Meanwhile, on the other side, Papi Pradhan and the doctor were giving Martha Muti electric shocks so that she would reveal her friend's hideout to them. But even she had no idea where that place was. Still, she lies to them, saying that she can take them to her friends. Meanwhile, Sasti Masti and her friends blindfold Tataraj and start heading towards a safe place. Just then, they come across a group of women known as the Lolgandi. As soon as these women see Anil Ankush, they hug him warmly. Meanwhile, Sasti Masti discovers the fact that these very women used to work closely with her own mother. Then Pinky Pitash asks why there are so few people here when this place should have been crowded with men. At the same time, one of the women starts checking Tataraj, who they found quite attractive. But just then, Bhagodi Lal tells them that this man is a liar and cunning. At that moment, a man named Zarila John arrives and tells them, "I'm making toothbrushes." Meanwhile, everyone was surprised to see how there was only one man in such a safe place. Bhagodi Lal asks why there is only one man here. She explains that all the other Bin Kaliman ran away and never returned. After that, they are all given a kind of drink to consume, which was a part of their tradition. But Bhagodi Lal sensed that something was wrong, so he only pretends to drink it and tells Pinky Pitash to do the same. Meanwhile, Sasti Masti drinks it all up. At that moment, Pinky Pitash asks those people for help so she can rescue Martha Muti and the other men from Papi Pradhan. But the leader of the tribe refuses them. Meanwhile, Sasti Masti's vision starts to blur and she begins to see strange things. The same thing was happening to everyone else as well, which meant that there was definitely something intoxicating mixed into that drink. Meanwhile, on the other side, Martha Muthi, to kill some time, takes Shalu Shatir to the wrong place because she herself doesn't know where her friends are. At the same time, Tataraj suddenly develops a fever and Pinky Pitash takes him to the tent where he forcefully tries to take his bag from her. During this struggle, the bag falls to the ground. Tataraj crawls over to the bag and starts taking out some pills from it and eating them. Seeing this, Pinky Pitash realizes that Papi Pradhan has been controlling him with these very pills. Meanwhile, Zehrila John asks Bhagodi Lal, "Will you help me make my walkie-talkie?" To which he agrees and says yes. Meanwhile, Sasti Masti sees her mother's spirit entering a tent and starts following her. Just then, she finds a notebook in her mother's clothes, which her mother had left behind for Sasti Masti. Meanwhile, while Zarila John and Bhagodi Lal were playing together, Zarila John tells him that 8 years after the pandemic, everyone started getting bored and, to pass the time, they went to play war games. They took tranquilizer guns and headed towards the sea where those foolish rhinos ended up shooting themselves while playing the game. And all this happened because of me, because I was the one who made those guns. Saying this, he starts to cry. At that moment, Bhagodi Lal comes to him and tries to comfort him. Just then, Sasti Masti arrives and asks Zarila John to show her his teeth. She says that she has found the cure for the pandemic in her mother's diary. Meanwhile, Tataraj also finds out that Pinky Pitash is pregnant and he starts reminiscing with her about the old days when he and his family used to live together. He says that he started taking these pills just to cope with the pain of his son's death. But you bitch, what have you done? And now by having another child, you want to replace my son with him. Hearing this, Pinky Pitash slaps him and says, "You bastard, it's because of you that I've been separated from my best friend." Tataraj says, "I can take you to Papi Pradhan's secret hideout." But Pinky Pitash doesn't trust him and threatens to stab him with a knife. Meanwhile, Sasti Masti becomes happy after seeing Zarila John's teeth and says that this is the only way to survive the epidemic. But to confirm this, we need to take him to Papi Pradhan's lab. Just then, Pinky Pitash arrives and says that Tataraj will show us the way forward. But Bhagodilal still didn't trust him. Pinky Pitash says that if he betrays us, I'll personally shoot him in the ass. After that, they all start following Tataraj along the paths he shows them. They make their way toward Papi Pradhan's hideout through the tunnels. Along the way, they see Martha Muthi and Shalu Shatir with the guards. Just then, Bhagodilal attacks them, knocking them unconscious and says that Tataraj must have called them here. But then Pinky Pitash and Sasti Masti say, "No, we've been keeping an eye on him the whole way." Then Shalu Shatir says, "If you all are done with your nonsense, should I go back to making jelly?" Martha Muthi asks, "Where is this jelly made?" Bhagodilal says, "Since when has this jelly become so important?" Martha Muthi explains that this jelly is used to control men, just like we saw with those good boys. They too had gone crazy over the jelly. After that, they all decide to go to Shalu Shatir's house so they can make jelly there. Later, after reaching Shalu Shatir's house, Tataraj draws a map of Papi Pradhan's hideout, which Shalu Shatir also checks and confirms, saying that the map he made is absolutely correct. After that, they all relax there for a while. Then at night, Tataraj finds Sasti Masti looking at her old photograph which she had found in her mom's notebook. Tataraj asks her about her mother's health, to which Sasti Masti replies that he probably doesn't know that Papi Pradhan had erased her mother's memory. After that, Sasti Masti shows him that a hole was made in her brain so that they could control her under any circumstances. Then the next day, Sasti Masti and the others start moving forward through the secret tunnels that Tataraj had told them about, and they reach a hidden door that leads them to Papi Pradhan's hideout. Once inside, Shalu Shatir presses a strange button which sets off an alarm. Meanwhile, Pinky Pitash senses that something is wrong, so she goes back toward the door, which is now closed. Now, seeing this, Pinky Pitash starts to panic, wondering if Tataraj has betrayed them once again. On the other side, Bhagodilal, Martha Muthi and Shalu Shatir arrive at a place that was Papi Pradhan's ballroom where there were mannequins of some men and a strange song was playing. Meanwhile, Pinky Pitash starts to feel nauseous, but just then she notices a picture of Papi Pradhan in which his stomach is slightly bulging. She gets angry upon seeing that picture and starts to remove it, but then she discovers that there is a secret room behind the picture. Tataraj tries to stop her from going inside, but she goes in anyway and sees that it's actually a couple's bedroom, which Tataraj used to turn Papi Pradhan into a bride. On the other side, Bhagodilal, Martha and Shalu Shatir see the good boys there who were telling them, "People from Bisdi, leave this place, we don't need your help." Saying this, they blow themselves up. Meanwhile, Papi Pradhan comes out of the bathroom with a gun and asks Tataraj, "Do you love me or Pinky Pitash?" Tataraj lies to her saying, "Darling, I only love you." After that, the two of them start making out with each other. But just then, Papi Pradhan shoots Tataraj in the stomach. Seeing this, Pinky Pitash comes over to him and starts crying. At that moment, Sasti Masti and Chapan Churi also arrive there with the guards and see that there is blood on Papi Pradhan's clothes. Sasti Masti says that she killed Tataraj on purpose. But then Papi Pradhan injures herself and says, "No, these people attacked me first." Seeing this, even Chapan Churi becomes confused and she leaves the place, taking Papi Pradhan with her to protect her. Now, after Tataraj's death, they start preparing for a new mission. Martha Muthi says that we will have to punish Papi Pradhan for her crimes. She explains that in a few days, there will be a maintenance Monday at the government office and this is our only chance to meet the Prime Minister and tell him about all of Papi Pradhan's misdeeds. Hearing this, Bhagodilal and Shalu Shatir agree to support her. Next, Bhagodilal goes to talk to Sasti Masti, who was still trying to understand her mother's diary. Just then, he spots a code there and says that they need a military map to decipher it. To this, Sasti Masti says that maybe they can find it in the government records. After that, they all head towards the city. When they arrive there, as Martha Muti and Shalu Shatir are heading towards the government house, a woman stops them and introduces herself as an executive receptionist. She says that if they want to meet the Prime Minister, they will need to make an appointment first. At that moment, Martha Muti says to her, "Listen, you fool, we are members of the Garam Gulabi group and have come to talk to the Prime Minister about the human rights violations committed by the Gili Kachi group." Just then, a woman named Carla arrives and says that the Prime Minister has always been very concerned about human rights. Saying this, she lets them go inside. Now Martha Muti starts preparing her speech about what she will say when she meets the Prime Minister. But just then, they hear the sound of a door opening behind them. Both of them rush inside and tell the Prime Minister that they have something important to discuss with her. Now the Prime Minister takes them to her office, where Martha Muti tells her that there are still some people alive in this world and as proof shows her Bhagodi Lal. The Prime Minister is shocked to see this and wonders how this man is still alive. Later, when the Prime Minister is with Bhagodi Lal, she asks him if he has thought about his role in society. Meanwhile, Bhagodi Lal feels that the Prime Minister's intentions are not good. Just then, the Prime Minister tells him that he should share his story with the press. Bhagodi Lal becomes a bit confused and says that he will think about it and let her know. Afterwards, Kala arranges accommodation for them and tells them that they will investigate the incidents involving the Gili Kachi group. During this time, Bhagodi Lal also agrees to give an interview to expose the Gili Kachi group. After that, a press conference is called immediately. The Prime Minister tells the press everything, explaining why they have been called there. After that, she calls Bhagodi Lal onto the stage. But then suddenly, a shot is fired and the Prime Minister falls to the ground. Seeing this, Bhagodi Lal raises his gun, making everyone think that he was the one who shot the Prime Minister. The crowd goes wild, and Bhagodi Lal threatens everyone and tries to escape from there. The girls also run after him, and just then, Pinky Pitash says that Bhagodi Lal has been framed. Meanwhile, Bhagodi Lal was running on the road, hiding from everyone. But just then, Martha Muti comes and tells him to come with her. Bhagodi Lal immediately sits on Martha's cycle, but the cycle can't handle their weight and starts moving very slowly. Just then, Martha takes a shortcut and sends Bhagodi Lal flying through the air. After that, they all go and hide in a go-down. Just then, Pinky Pitash says that she saw a doctor from the Gili Kachi group talking to Carla, which means that Carla is actually working for the Gili Kachi group. At that moment, a captain of the rebels arrives and asks them if they are running from the government. She tells them that there are many people on the run just like them, and one of them even has a $10,000 bounty on his head. She says that she can protect them from the Gili Kachi group's guard, but in return, she wants that man's medals. The girls agree to this condition as well. After that, the girl takes them into the city's secret tunnels where people from the dark web live. They see that the men and women who live here are living completely normal lives. The captain explains that many of them don't even know about the pandemic because they've never once stepped foot outside of this place. After that, she brings them upstairs and tells them to stay quiet for a while. Just then, Sasti Masti notices something, and after that, she and Bhagodi Lal start trying to find the location given in Sasti Masti's mother's diary using a military map, and finally, they find the place. But the coordinates pointed to a location so small that it wasn't even visible on the map. Just then, Martha asks Captain Muti, "How much will you charge to take us to this location?" To which she replies, "You guys don't have enough guts to afford me, especially after I found out that these medals are fake." Suddenly, Papi Pradhan appears on TV and announces that the traitor who killed the Prime Minister will be punished and increases the bounty on Bhagodi Lal to $100,000. Now, since Bhagodi Lal was with them, the captain says, "I'm willing to take you there." Meanwhile, Pinky Pitash had understood her intentions, so she says, "We don't want to work with you anymore." The captain says, "Either you work with me or hand over Bhagodi Lal to me." At that moment, Martha Muti realizes that these people could easily catch them and hand them over to Papi Pradhan, so she makes a counter offer to the captain. She says, "If you take us to this location, we will give you something extremely valuable." The captain starts thinking, what could be more valuable than $100,000? But still, she agrees to it. She says that until then, Bhagodi Lal will stay here, and if you don't come back within 24 hours, I'll hand Bhagodi Lal over to Papi Pradhan and collect the reward from him. After this, the girls go straight to Papi Pradhan's lab and find that the sperm bank there has been emptied. They see that all the containers are gone. Just then, a doctor comes in and quickly calls the guards. The armed guards quickly approach and surround the girls. After that, they are securely locked away inside a glass room. Now, Sasti Masti really had to pee, so she starts urinating right there in the room. During this, she was also letting out toxic farts. This really annoys Martha, and she comes over and tries to pull up her pants. But Sasti Masti refuses to pull up her pants. During this, a fight breaks out between the two of them. Just then, the guards come in and separate the two of them. Meanwhile, a doctor arrives and tells the guards to let them go. After that, Chapan Churi takes them to Papi Pradhan. Then Papi Pradhan takes Pinky Pitash to a separate room. There she opens a bottle of champagne and tells Pinky Pitash to drink it. She says that she saw Pinky Pitash's blood report and that there is a boy in her womb just like her. After that, she makes Pinky Pitash an offer. If you give me your child to raise, I will let your friends go and give you so much white water that you can have 5 or 6 more children for yourself. Actually, Papi Pradhan wanted to become the only woman in this world to have given birth to a boy so that she could use this for her political support. But after thinking for a while, Pinky Pitash rejects her offer, and at that moment, Papi Pradhan stabs her in the stomach several times with a knife. Hearing their voices, Chapan Churi comes inside and seeing Papi Pradhan's clothes stained with blood, she realizes that Pinky Pitash has said goodbye, died. But just then, Pinky Pitash stands up and opens her shirt to show them the fake blood bags. She says that Papi Pradhan tried to kill her. Meanwhile, Papi Pradhan suddenly faints. But seeing this, Chapan Churi gets completely confused and points her gun directly at them. But just then, Sasti Masti comes over to her and explains in detail how they reached Papi Pradhan. Actually, we already knew that Papi Pradhan would try to kill Pinky Pitash. That's why Pinky Pitash had applied a sedative to her fingernail. And then when Papi Pradhan tried to kill her, Pinky Pitash scratched her with her nail and knocked her out. Sasti Masti says that we promised the captain of the rebels that we would bring her Papi Pradhan in exchange for Bhagodi Lal, and that would be the most valuable thing for her. Chapan Churi says, but I had sworn that I would protect them. But just then, Sasti Masti kisses her on the lips. After that, Chapan Churi also agrees to join them. Meanwhile, Shalu Shatir is surprised to see that for the crowd, these two were actually in love with each other. Next, they hide Papi Pradhan inside a big cake and start taking her out of the building. At the same time, the captain, who had come to hand over Bhagodi Lal to Papi Pradhan, when she sees those girls with such a huge cake, she realizes that these madams have actually pulled it off. Just then, the scene shifts and we see Papi Pradhan, who wakes up from unconsciousness and finds herself in the middle of the sea. She gets terrified and starts screaming loudly. Meanwhile, the captain was telling her friends that they had crossed the international border. After that, the girls start taking turns looking after Papi Pradhan. Seeing this, Papi Pradhan realized that now she couldn't escape. A little while later, Pinky Pitash arrives there. Seeing her, Papi Pradhan says that she was always Tataraj's first love and that soon she is going to be the mother of his child. Hearing this, Pinky Pitash gets angry and pushes her off the ship, killing her. At that moment, Sasti Masti is shocked to see this and asks Pinky Pitash, "Why did you do that?" To this, Pinky Pitash glares at her and says, "The coward is dead." And friends, with this, the story comes to